today. First of all, don't have a panic attack, you pussy. What the fuck is a panic attack? Secondly, if it happens, you probably had too much caffeine or something. Stop recording, go lie down, it'll pass. You know, I've always said that about bad trips, bad acid trips. Yes, they suck, but it's not the apocalypse. You're just going through some bad time. So just sit there and wait it out. People are in... Joe Biggs right now is in prison in solitary confinement. He's been there for 4 months, locked in a box. That sucks. But having a 2-minute wave of uncomfortable nerves. So I had a panic attack while filming a video today. This guy does he's like a gamer guy. He does gamer reviews or whatever, a YouTuber. But let's watch the state of men today.
You probably heard that comparison there, and you're probably like...
Look at his shoulders.
Really?
It's like a T-Rex.
Are you sure? Because I remember what... Fucked it up. Okay.
I am freaking out. What are you looking for there, T-Rex? Prey? A velociraptor?
Unfortunately, only one of those things are extinct, and it's not the thing we're looking at.
Wait, what?
Only one of the T-Rex and this guy. One of them's extinct, but it's not the right one.
Oh my...
Ryan,
fuck.
right on
Damn
cue.
Smile. You're flashing a panic attack. Now I know you're probably thinking, Chris, come on. That's a pretty big accusation. Are you sure? Can you prove it?
Ew.
Ooh, where's my fucking water?
He changed his name to Paul Joseph Watson Drinks Cum because Paul Joseph Watson was making fun of him for this. Get your water. Like, why are we televising our weakness?
Oh, wow, I feel like I'm gonna die.
You know? If you fail, keep it to yourself.
Hi. We're gonna stop recording. We're gonna try this again tomorrow when there's maybe daylight.
Yeah, you need a mental health day.
Sick.
It takes a full 24 hours off to recover from this incident. Looking through the newspaper today, we have, this is insane, that mentally ill guy who hit the Asian yesterday. He's got a long criminal record. I know I promised I wouldn't go through the newspaper. Someone designed a $750 million yacht. I don't give a shit. Some pretty girl standing there posing in a bikini. Some tennis players having a feud. Some rich bitch shot a cop in Belize. Don't care. Again, our stop off is the Western world, which includes Israel and obviously Australia and Western Europe and all that, and 1968 and up. But then I'm going through and I see the fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, where Biden wants you to know that nothing's changed. Not only was that inarguably an American Holocaust, but we're still there today. And so it's such an accepted thing that he's there in Tulsa talking about reparations and what we should pay. Now, when I first heard of Tulsa as a Canadian, I was mortified. And then I did a thing called looking into it. And it's really hard. You got to dig and dig and dig to find out it was a race ride started by a black dude. And the black people lost. But for once and for all, I want to debunk this notion that it was a massacre and show you clearly what it really was, which was a race riot.
Down the street, there's no one there. Though the pavement's a one huge crowd. I can drive down the road, my eyes don't see.
Between the 1870s and the beginning of World War I, black pioneers settled more than 100 all-black towns in the West, each with the goal of economic independence. Among the most well-known was a black district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, known by its residents as Greenwood.
Sounds good.
If we were to go back and talk
If we were to go back, what's with that guy's accent? He sounds like a valley girl.
to 1920 and walk up and down Greenwood Avenue, one thing that would probably strike us is the absolute variety of businesses. And the numbers are astonishing.
Okay.
30 restaurants.
So this is Greenwood, Oklahoma. We just learned today that Biden was there discussing their painful past, where he said this was not a riot, it was a massacre. Here's the narrative that you've all been told. I've been told this. And I have to admit, when you hear the narrative, you go, Jesus, that's rough. Now, on this show, we start with MLK's assassination as far as you can complain. So we don't do 1918, 1920. We had the Depression 8 years after this riot. And that was 10 years of the entire country being in the shitter. But anyway, but just for fun, let's open ourselves up to 1920 and take in this narrative. So the narrative is as such. These guys pulled themselves up their bootstraps post-slavery. They're ready to rock. They've been to World War I. And they're ready to start building societies. It isn't segregationist. What we have here is voluntary segregation. But, hey, segregation is everywhere, especially in 2021 in rich, white, liberal neighborhoods. And they don't want blacks at their school, but they like them in theory. So we're not going to bash segregation today. If blacks want to have their areas, go bananas. This looks great, by the way. Nice work. You'll notice that this is, not only is this voluntary segregation, it's also seeing blacks without welfare. This is black people without the liberals destroying the black family. They look pretty noble to me. Anyway, the story is that white Americans saw them doing well and thriving with their own Wall Street, their own big bull in Lower Manhattan, with just killing it. And so they went, fuck you. And they went killing them all, shooting them, burned the entire town down. And that was the end of black economic success, because blacks were taught very clearly, if you succeed, we'll kill you. And when I hear that, like you, I go, well, that sucked, but it was 1920. And I'm not apologizing for anything before Martin Luther King. However, it's worth noting that once again, the narrative is total and utter fucking horseshit. You're wrong, Joe. It wasn't a massacre. It was a race riot. And I want to go back to that day. It was Memorial Day, 30th of May, 1921. And there was an elevator wherein a woman named Sarah Page was attacked by a black man named Dick Rowland. She started screaming her head off, and other people heard it. They arrested Dick. Okay? Now, lynching was not uncommon back then. So I'll tell you when I need you to pull something up. In the interim, just show like B-roll. A white man had been lynched the week before for a crime. There was still the Wild West in many ways over there back then. And so blacks in this area were concerned about this guy getting lynched. They insisted Dick Rowland was innocent. By the way, Dick, you must have felt like a real dick after causing this brutal riot. One of the worst in history. Nothing compared to the riots of the late 60s that decimated entire black communities by blacks, and Detroit never recovered from their late 60s riots. Nothing compared to the riots of the past 15 months, especially when you look at the $3 billion in damage that Antifa and BLM have caused. But, yeah, they were concerned about riots, and they wanted to protect Dick Rowland. They didn't want him to get lynched. And by the way, Black Wall Street's a myth. It was a group of about 100 businesses, from hardware stores to canteens to painters, just like about 100 small businesses that had gathered together, like all towns. Your town, if you live in Charlottesville, Greenwood, you live in Etobicoke, there is an Etobicoke local business foundation with about 100 people all working together to decide what we should donate to and if there should be a stop sign on this particular intersection. So drop the Black Wall Street thing. That was not a thing. It was a successful, voluntarily segregated town. And there was lynchings of whites, lynchings of blacks. There was a lot of mob rule. These guys knew how to use their guns. They knew how to war. When was the end of World War I? 1918. This was 1921.